Hi and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to have a look at my new MPC Key 61 and I'm kind of just going to go over the main kind of controls and explain a bit about more how the hardware works. As you probably know, this is the 61 key semi-weighted keyboard and it is very nice, and like I said, the case is kind of metal. I mean, it's quite weighty. It must be about 11 kilos maybe. So there's a kind of decent weight to it. I wasn't really sure how much of it was going to be plastic, but the kind of main top part is metal, and obviously you get this nice sort of angle, so it does actually make the controls easier to use. And I don't know why more manufacturers don't do that, because it's much nicer to work with a kind of, you know, you've got this kind of, you know, the keyboard's flat and then it kind of angles up. The controls are very nice, kind of rubberized, kind of more rubberized than my kind of S49 Mark II, and then you've got a main volume knob here, and I'm about 50% and I'm about 12 o'clock on the Focusrite, so it's putting out quite a strong signal, because normally I would be around about sort of 3 o'clock when I had it on the wave state and various other synths. So like I said, this is bang on 12 o'clock and it's putting out quite a strong. So that's everything at kind of 12 o'clock, the volume control and my audio interface controls, and yeah. And that's the first patch in Fabric XL called Awakening. So you've got your tap tempo, and I've switched the light off because I don't like that flashing, so you can go into the preferences and switch the light off on that, because I just find it annoying. You've got your metronome, and underneath these you do have global and configure, and also for the ARP you've got configure as well. So there's two shift buttons. There's a shift button there and there's a shift button up here as well, and you can see they both kind of light up. So that's quite good, because you kind of do shift across here a bit as well, because these have all got subcategories underneath them as well. You've got your tempo, metronome, you've got your ARP, you've got latch, and then you've got your octave up and down, and you actually have a nice light so you can see exactly where you are. And it says on the screen, you can see there, transpose by transpose off, transpose by -1, -2, -3. So that's pretty cool. And then you've got your pitch and mod, and these are very nice. Nice kind of rubberized. There's kind of like a finger groove in it there as well. You can kind of you probably won't be able to see that, but there's a kind of dip in it there, so you can get your finger in it. It's and they're really solid, really chunky, kind of really nice, because I do use obviously the mod and pitch bend quite a bit when I'm playing. Then you've got your pad bank. So these are for the drums and also the keys as well, so you can play the keys on these as well, and normally if you're in drum mode then they do different things, and there's also a shift, so like I said, you can switch up octaves on there as well, and like I said, normally if you're in drum mode it will bring in different parts of the kit, and this is your touch strip, and you can see depending on what I am doing, it is, so it's got the filter sweep. If you press and hold touch effects, you can see all the things that you can apply this to. So it defaults to kind of bandpass, so there's 20 of them, and you've got things like delay, reverse, turntable, washout, shimmer. Shimmer's really nice. It's a fantastic interface, this, it really is. And then you've got also the touch strip, so you can apply the touch strip to different things. So you've got Q-Link, pad level, program level, project, notes, all these different things you can apply that to. And it's quite a good idea to actually, if you're using the drums, is to switch that to pad level, and then you can adjust the pad levels, because I have found the pads are a bit on the loud side. So that is the kind of touch strip, and like I said, you can see it's got kind of like little nodules in it. So there's a bar halfway up, and it has 1, 2, 3 little bumps in it, so like a bit like Braille. And then you can see obviously the red light goes up and down there as well, if you can see that. I've got a new webcam, and I'm testing it out. This is the first video I've used it for. I've got myself a Logitech C920S to try and improve the quality of these kind of overhead videos. It is very difficult to get it set up in my studio because I am really struggling for space. So I've got cameras and mics and lights and everything. So hopefully this is going to turn out to look a bit better. If not, it'll be going back. Right, so I've gone to track 2 and I've loaded in the F9 Retro 80s kit just to let you kind of see what the pads can do. So let's say we're in the first bank. So this is where it always kind of defaults to the A bank. So this is normally the kind of drum kit part of the. So you've got kicks, kind of snares, claps, toms. I did find that the drums were a bit loud, so I've got them on half level if I put it on. So yeah, they are very, very responsive. I mean, they're not huge. I mean, some people have been complaining they're too small, but I mean, how could they get them much bigger? I mean, you know what I mean? It's not an MPC one. It's not a standalone MPC, so they had to make the pads smaller. So I don't really see the problem. I mean, I'm not going to be using the pads a hell of a lot anyway. But you know, if you were, you know, buy a standalone MPC, so it's not really a problem. So like I said, you can switch banks. So there's this. As I said, this is a kind of retro kit. So you've got more drums. So the first, and then so you've got bass, and then the third one, you've got all sorts of things. So you've got a lovely synth here. And then there's kind of effects. So I mean, it's cool. I mean, to be honest, someone was saying that one of the comments was saying it's not very good for playing live. So I'm not really quite sure what he was on about, because from the little I haven't even had a chance to use this much because of bloody Black Friday videos. I think it's amazing for playing live, but anyway. So that's great. And then the last one is another bass. So yeah, so like I said, that is your kind of pads using a drum kit. And like I said, I can switch back to, if I go to track 1, it'll switch back to Fabric XL. And like I said, you can, so if I can use these, and then I can switch. Octaves using these as well. So if I go, so that's switching up the octaves using those buttons, which is quite good. So it saves you using the transpose buttons for the pads. And like I said, you've got full level, half level for those. You've got 16 level, and then you've got erase and copy, and underneath the copy you have delete. And then these are kind of your main ones that you use. So these and the transport controls are really the main ones. And these as well. So this is your first shift button, and like I said, you've got another one up here. You've got the main menu. So we've got sample edit, program edit, step sequencer, browser, channel mixer, pad mixer, looper, sampler, pad mute, track mute, next sequence, song, MIDI control, Q-Link edit, and list edit. And then down here you have new project, save, project, and prefs. And then in these ones you've got main, you've got grid, you've got mixer, you've got the velocity, and then you've got the XY pad, which is pretty amazing as well. The touchscreen is just the absolute dog's bollocks. It's kind of basically, you know, phone quality. It's certainly sharper than my Native Instruments S49. The Mark III might be probably as good as this. I don't know. I haven't seen one in real life. But it is just amazing. I mean, you can read, I mean, my eyesight is shite. We all know that. It is terrible. But I can read everything, even down to these kind of small sounds, favourites, pad perform there. So like I said, I mean, the controls are amazing. And then you've got your sequence you track and you plug in. If you get one of these, the best thing is to do, and I'll leave a link in the description, is to watch the full length Andy Mack Masterclass, and you can load in all the whole samples and drum kits and everything that he uses, and just work your way through that. I mean, I've only got halfway through it. It's an hour long, and he goes through basically everything, and it is just so like I said, I'm about half an hour into it. Because like I said, it's just been so busy, I've hardly had a chance to use this. Yeah, so your kind of sounds page is the main one that it kind of, you will be kind of going to a lot. There's Fabric and there's Fabric XL. Now they are the same, pretty much. They are the same presets, so you won't be able to probably see this, but I'll read it out. So you've got preview, pianos, electric pianos, keyboards, strings, pitch perk, bells, pad slow, pad bright, pad warm, pad moving, plucks, synths, synth bass sub, synth bass drones, and then synth bass classic, leads hard, leads soft, bass guitars, electric guitars, acoustic guitars, oscillators, choirs, brass, effects, percussion, user, and init. 2 pages of kind of categories, and then if you go back to preview, you've got 7 pages of kind of preloaded samples. So if we go to Melancholy Octaves, just bump up the volume a bit. So yeah, so like I said, you can adjust the samples by just going, so that's Shadowlands. So you can either use the main controller to switch, or you can use the buttons there. So like I said, you've got this and these for adjusting the presets, and like I said, it is probably quicker to use those, but and they are fantastic. I mean, like I said, there's going to be a ton of videos going through some of these. I mean, Tenderness is beautiful. I mean, the quality of the samples are this is layer 1, so you can switch between layer 1, and then if I go to layer 2, it'll adjust layer 2 there. So that is different banks, and then you've got different samples. The only problem is that when you touch this, you can't see what it's doing. So that's probably my only gripe so far, is that like you can't really see. You can see half of it, but you can't really see until you like take it off. So that is a bit of a pain, I have to say. I mean, they could have put them down here. It probably would have been made more sense to put them down here. I would have said, because I mean, all these controls are down here. So if I click on that, it would have been a lot easier to. So that's adjusting the cutoff. So if they had made this a bit deeper, this bit, and had them down there like Native Instruments, I've got theirs underneath the screen, I think it would have been. That's probably the only thing that I'm not really like, because you're obviously having to guess sometimes. It does get a wee bit confusing, but then I haven't really used it much, so you probably get into it. But like I said, you've got to remember, like, you're going vertical and then it's horizontal controls. I mean, it's not rocket science, Dave, but it's just one of these things. And like I said, the minute you can't see anything behind that. So I mean, you've got this bit, obviously you can see how far it's gone up, but like I said, you obviously can't see that one at all. So I mean, it's not a deal breaker, but I just think they should have put them down there instead. And I mean, they've almost got enough space to do it. If they'd made this maybe about an inch deeper, they could have just got them down there anyway. And these are your Q-Link banks, so you've got 4 banks of Q-Links as well, so you can switch the controls there. So you've got four kind of controls, so that switches from sample 1, sample 2, and then this block 1, and then block 2. So like I said, or you can just touch on it. It's quicker to just touch on it. But anyway, so you've got those options. There's loads of options, and these are quite nice. They're not metal. They're kind of plastic, but there's a nice kind of, there's quite a nice feel to them. and they are quite, you know, there's a bit of resistance. I mean, it is really well made. The only thing that isn't brilliant is this. It's really light, and you can see it's adjusting the volume on there. So yeah, so that's the only thing that if that. So you can see if I press in, it's adjusting the volume. You get this huge thing on there. So yeah, so that's a bit naff in compared to, and it's not rubberized. So I mean, these aren't rubberized, but they've kind of feel a bit better than the main one. It's just really light, so that's a shame that if it had been rubberized like the mod wheels, it would have felt better. But it's very, very plasticky. And like I said, there's not much resistance to it at all. But anyway, apart from that, and the position of those, it's all fantastic. If we carry on going across, so we've got the edit, and this is the XY effects on shift. So you've got edit, you've got grid. So you see it goes to my grid. You've got mix. You've got mute, so that goes on to your pad mutes. That's your 4 tracks, so you can mute those from there. And then you've got automation read write, and then underneath that you've got off. And then I said that is your shift button, your second shift button. So you've got undo, redo, you've got timing correct, sample edit, and keyboard control, and the shift is MIDI control. And then you've got events. So this is for when you are kind of editing out on the grid. So you can use these buttons there. So these are your main transport controls. So you've got record and then recall. You've got overdub, stop, return, play, and play start. So if I had a sequence recorded, I could just play start and it would always play from the beginning. So yeah, so that is it. And I'm not going to go over the back controls because I kind of went through them. So anyway, so that's it for today. So in the next video, I'm going to go through some of my favourite sounds once I've had a chance to actually test this out fully. So as usual, if you're enjoying the videos, please like, subscribe, share and comment, and I will see you in the next one.